right, so today's question, actually two or three part question, came into a situation yesterday where at our property management company we had a tenant move out of an apartment that this landlord and this apartment are classified as let only, so we don't actually actively manage the property. All we do is find a tenant and then do the checkout and check-in inspection, so the final and initial inventory inspections. So we don't inspect them during the course of the tenancy. We don't collect rent. We don't do any of the management services. So that's usually because the landlord wants to save the money on the fees. Well, in this instance, it kind of bit them in the butt because there was nobody managing the property, nobody contacting, in constant contact with the tenant or regular contact with the tenant, and quite a bit of damage was done to the property. And then at the very end, the tenant, since the tenant had money on deposit for for a security deposit, damage deposit, tenant decided arbitrarily that the deposit should be used to cover the last month's rent and didn't pay the rent. But our position was that it wasn't really our problem because we didn't collect rent. So we turned around and we let this tenant into another property. So we've now have put them in a property that we do manage. So they're going to continue to be our tenants, although they're out of this other property that we're talking about. So one problem that's come up, well, the landlord, we do have a lot of damages to account for. Kitchen floor, bathroom floor, place was left quite dirty, so anyway, several problems that are going to need to be addressed with the security deposit. So there won't be enough to pay the rent. So one, with this is kind of my suggestion to landlords that are tempted to go with a let-only situation where they don't pay the management fees. It's kind of nice in a situation like this to actually have a property management company there to handle the situation for you, rather than being kind of left to fend for yourself at the end if things don't work out. But within our office, my concern is, so I went back and discussed it with the lettings department, and the consensus was that not our problem, because the tenant didn't pay the rent and they don't pay us, so it doesn't matter. Well, what they're missing in this whole equation is that this is a tenant that does that. So now that they're in another rental that we do manage, this is what we can assume that we can expect when they move out of it. So it's just going to be more headaches for us. And again, missing glancing over the fact that they did a significant amount of actual damage, not just heavy wear and tear. They actually damaged the property significantly. And the landlord, so I said, well, how do they possibly pass referencing under this situation? Well, referencing goes to the landlord. Since we don't manage it, the landlord didn't respond. So we gave the tenant a good recommendation as on behalf of the landlord. Well, we don't manage the property, so which is it? Do we not manage the property so we don't have to worry about collecting the rent, or do we manage it enough that we're willing to actually, in my opinion, step out of line and give a recommendation that we shouldn't be giving, and then putting this tenant in another property to cause more headaches down the line. So anyways, into the very long story, and my question is this is is obviously a lettings company, and in England it's referred to as as lettings and not so much as property management, where in the States it's referred to as property management. So is that kind of a mindset that's causing this problem, where maybe we should take on more of a property management mindset and value good tenants and value the condition of the property more so than actual number of tenants, and working at all costs in more of a sales mindset where we just want to let the properties. It's all about getting the numbers, and we're willing to take whatever steps necessary. So anyways, give me your thoughts. Let me know. Might have been rambling a little bit, but let me know what you think about it and any advice or suggestions you have, and if you've come across any problems or situations like this. Thanks a lot. Bye. Okay, so I'm going to add something to the end of this now. Kind of had a thought about where I left off the video a second ago. I guess my main question that I'd like to know and hear from you about is high occupancy rates versus proper, or in my opinion, proper and strict tenant screening. So taking that tenant that was moving out under unfortunate circumstances, not paying the last month's rent, playing strong hand, saying no, you can take that out of my deposit instead, and but then having actually too much damage to be able to do that. Anyways, what's your opinion on high occupancy? The tenant, do you move him in because maybe he at least paid his rent? Do you move him into another property to manage, or do you screen him out of your business and scrub him, let him go? My opinion is that I'd rather have a property, even as a property owner and not the manager, I'd rather have a property vacant for 30, 60 days, 90 days than have a bad tenant in there and end up having to replace flooring and have some financial issues upon vacancy. So anyways, that's my opinion. I want to know yours. Please let me know your thoughts. Thank you.